sense of peace most days. I feel good most days. But back before, when I was trying to strive, I just want to be happy, blah, 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 blah. When I was striving for being happy, I had really high highs and really low lows, and it was hard to control how I reacted to certain things. Good day, everyone. My name is Hannah, and I am loving, living, and inspiring through classical music, shared experiences, and lessons learned. So I believe that happiness is a great feeling to have. However, I do not think that happiness is a feeling that is meant to be strived for. But what is happiness really, if you think about the actual definition of it? Feeling or showing pleasure or contentment is the definition of happy or happiness. If you look up happiness, it will just say the state of being happy. So if you look up happy, that's one of the first definitions that comes up. When you think, oh, I need to be happy all the time, well, that usually is some sort of pleasurable thing that you do. Happiness is usually, to me, in my own understanding of it, it's a pleasurable thing. So, for example, I associate food with happiness, and, eating French fries makes me happy. But I shouldn't be striving to eat French fries all the time. And does that mean also that if I do something that isn't necessarily pleasurable, like work, which is something that most adults spend most of their life doing, does that mean that we're not happy? Some people, of course, choose professions that they love, but a lot of people don't. Or maybe they went into it, they thought they loved it, and they realized they didn't, and now their work is just not where they want it to be. And so therefore, does that mean that they're not happy? So for this reason, I think happiness is not necessarily the thing to strive for. I think the thing to really work towards every day is self-knowledge. Because once you learn more about yourself, you learn more and more what are the things that make you happy. What are the things that make you sad? What are the things that trigger you? Things that make you feel upset. Figure out why that made you upset. Why did that specific comment make you angry? Why did that certain person say it in that way? Why does that person make you mad? Those type of things. Finding that self-knowledge, because if you're striving for happiness, how can you handle life? I mean, life, period, is going to be hard at some point. Sometimes you look at some people and they have seemingly great lives, but we're all going to die one day. We're all going to have some sort of an obstacle in our life. So if you're striving for happiness, how can you handle life? So with the self-knowledge, why I'm getting to this point, and I'm not one to say that I have figured my own self out, not at all, but self-knowledge to me is just a constant effort each day. And what has gotten me, because I used to think, making this video because I used to think that happiness was the thing to always strive for, but now that I have worked on my own self, I realize it isn't that at all. And what's led me to this conclusion is, I think, what's that saying when you can't help someone unless they've hit rock bottom? I know I wouldn't say I've hit a rock bottom a couple years ago, but I had this obsession with wanting to perform a operatic role. And I had auditioned for it, I'd worked hard for it, and I didn't get it, and I was super disappointed. Now, at the time, looking back, I really wasn't ready. My voice wasn't ready, and it worked out perfectly. But at the time, I was really heartbroken about it. I had obsessed over it so much. And it truly, I've never been to a psychologist or anything, but I think it did kind of bring me into a little bit of a depression. I've never been diagnosed with that, but I feel like I would call it that because I really just felt awful, like not just emotionally, but physically. It was physically hard to get up every day because I was so down. And then it took the effort of actually listening to things to work towards being not down, being higher as far as my energy and happiness. I actually did listen to a podcast called the Happiness Podcast, and I think it was by a psychologist. And he was great. It was like 5 to 10 minutes a day of him talking about something. And that helped me. But when I did that, it led me to other things. I started to get really into travel. I was obsessed with the idea of traveling outside of the country, and the country I really wanted to go to was Italy. So I finally did that in 2017, I believe, and it was amazing, and it sparked my interest into traveling more. And traveling really does help you know yourself. I actually made a video about this. I believe it's called Know Thyself Through Travel. And I talk about how you learn about yourself from just traveling alone. And I also have a bunch of travel videos too, if you like that. I have a travel playlist that you can also check out. So anyway, traveling has led me to know myself more. It shows you what you're made of. It shows you what other people do with their lives and how that kind of, where you kind of fit in that, like it teaches you about your own country too, where you come from. There's so much that you can learn about that, and I won't go on and on about that here because I feel like all I do is talk about how much you can learn from travel. But if you're interested in that subject in particular, again, check out that video. The second thing that's helping me know myself better is meditation. I have taken it upon myself since around 2000, the same time frame that I'm talking about, for a couple years. I've been meditating. Now this varies from around 5 minutes to 30 minutes a day. It just depends on how much time I have and how dedicated and disciplined I am at the moment. But what I have found is that when you meditate every day, it really, really helps you to focus on your goals, get rid of all that crazy stuff that you say in your head of, like for me, a lot of time it's self-doubt and, things like that. For other people, it could be something different. Maybe it's, being insecure or whatever, it helps you to get rid of that because you become thoughtless. You learn to train your thoughts. You learn that, oh, this is just a busy thought, just let it go. And meditation has helped me with that, which brings me into the next thing. When I started meditating, it really helped me to tap into my own intuition. I believe that everyone, all of us as human beings, have our own inner guide within ourselves that can help us to do what we're meant to do in life. I actually started this by listening to an audiobook called You Are Psychic. I'll put the author in the video somewhere. I don't remember who it's by, but I listened to it on the Hoopla app. If you've never heard of it, Hoopla. It's a library app, so you just enter your library card from wherever you are and you can listen or read these books for free, which I think is pretty awesome. So I listened to that book and I was really obsessed with the idea of figuring out what is my intuitive style, because it talks about how you can tap into your own intuition and how some people are good at just like feeling, how that when you walk into a room and you can feel that maybe someone was talking about you, or if someone has kind of like a bad vibe or feel about them, that's what it kind of helps you realize. But it can also talk about how maybe you might be clairvoyant, you might be able to see things, but you just don't realize it. It may not be in the way that you think it is. I realized through this stuff that I am able to tap into my own intuition, and I've learned so much from it. And it wasn't until I detached. It wasn't until I detached from any sort of expectations or any outcomes that I actually got what I want. Isn't that weird? The moment you kind of release control is when you get control. It's like it's not giving up. It's like having faith that the things that you want are going to come your way. You just can't expect it to be a certain way. And once you do these things like meditating, tapping into your own intuition, and traveling, it helps you to realize that happiness is actually, it's a cool emotion, but it's not the one to strive for. You can actually get to a feeling that's, in my opinion, way better than happiness. From meditating and doing all this stuff, I think I would call it peace. I feel a sense of peace most days. I feel good most days. But back before, when I was trying to strive, I just want to be happy, blah, 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 blah. When I was striving for being happy, I had really high highs and really low lows, and it was hard to control how I reacted to certain things. But when I just focused on knowing myself and what triggers me and what doesn't trigger me, and don't strive for happiness, just have a detachment about everything. I feel so much better now. I feel so much more peaceful. I feel very, very content all the time, even if something doesn't go my way, or, and I still have days where it's not fun and situations bring out the worst in you, but I react to it way better. I know the tools. I figured out, okay, what triggered me to do that and how I can fix it next time. Because at the end of the day, people taking your energy or you wasting your own energy, it's your own responsibility. And in order to get control of the things that you want to achieve in life, it's important to not just go for something like happiness, but to go for more of a peaceful feeling. The ability, or maybe you can call it happiness, and you can just be happy no matter what the circumstance is. But for me, that's not what I would call it. I'm happy when I'm eating cupcakes, but I'm peaceful most of the time. What about you? Do you guys, what is your opinion on it? Because sometimes when I hear people say, I just want to be happy and things like that, to me it kind of frustrates me, because it's like happiness is such a pleasure-seeking thing. I think it's important to just try to be peaceful all the time so that you're happy all the time, or if that's what you want to call it. But what do you guys think? Do you strive for happiness? What are some things that you have done to know thyself or know yourself more to get that self-knowledge? Do you do things like meditating or travel, or do you also tap into your own intuition? What are some of your experiences? I'm really interested in hearing this. I mean, me and the people who are very close to me, I talk about this sometimes, but I feel like a lot of people who I'm not so close to, they really do think that it's just happiness. And to me, in my opinion, I just think that's kind of a recipe for also more sadness, because you're striving for that pleasure-seeking thing, So let me know in the comments. For all of my people viewing this and my subscribers, thank you for watching this. I so appreciate you watching and interacting with me. I love hearing what you have to say, and I will see you next time. Bye.